And I'm Joe.
And we're Jen and Joe
On the go. All right, Jen, we have another edition of
Nella's Cooking.
Cooking with Mama Nella. We have something different and special today. This is a straight up Sicilian, I don't want to say specialty, but I guess you could say Sicilian dish that I've had my entire life, going back to my grandma, way back when I was a kid. And you don't really get to see this done this way. But anyway, we're gonna show you what she's doing for making everything.
What's she making?
Well, I'm gonna show you in a second here.
Okay.
Suspense. It's gonna be good. Trust me, this is a good one. At least for me it is, because it's one of my favorites. So.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna like it too.
Oh, I know. I think I've had it before.
Probably,
but not in a long time.
But yeah, and then not with this, because my mom's changed how she's making the bread.
Yes.
So we're gonna show you how she starts with that process first. So let's go.
Okay.
Good morning, Mother.
Good morning. Keep me busy.
What are you doing now?
Muffaletta.
Muffaletta.
Okay, 3 cups unbleached flour.
So let me show the flour here. You're using King Arthur all-purpose unbleached flour. All right, and you have this special yeast. You're welcome. I found it for you. So this Red Star Platinum yeast. Let me see the package for that.
But you could use it the same.
Well, yeah, but that's the yeast you said you like because it's doing something different for the bread.
Also, this one it's good too.
Oh, the Fleischmann's Active Dry.
That's
okay.
good too. Okay.
All right.
Now I got it, the flour, the yeast. Now put a little sugar. You know, don't make sure nothing.
Yeah, well, that's normal.
Maybe about a tablespoon. Okay.
Okay.
Now we put a little salt in there. Salt. Okay. Let me make sure with the spoon.
So this is all the flour that you're using and all the other ingredients to make the bread.
Okay.
And you put the water in there? How much
Not
water?
yet,
Not
not
yet?
yet,
Not
not
yet.
yet.
So okay, so all dry, mixing up the dry.
Okay, now we slowly put about 1 cup of water. I got it here, 1 cup.
And is the
Into
water
warm
hot or cold?
Warm.
Warm. Okay. Can you get it? Oh, there you go. Mixing while you add the water.
I'm gonna stop for a second, and I put about a little bit, virgin oil.
Olive oil.
Maybe a tablespoon. That's it. I just
Extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so you add some olive oil to the entire mixture.
Now we start again.
And then you add more water. Well, you can already see how the consistency is changing. And it's thickening up, you can tell already. Here. So this thing falls on the floor.
No.
So now in the past, you were doing all of this by hand.
Yeah.
All of this mixing, you were doing
this
all of
mix.
it by hand.
I
But
think a little too soft. I'm gonna put a little bit more flour in there. Just a little bit more.
and this is just the Cuisinart Prep 7 food mixer.
Yep, that's the
so.
best. You pay more, but that's worth it. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna do this, right? I'm gonna put some flour over here. My car is clean. I can already clean it.
Okay. So now, after you do the kneading and everything else that you're doing with that, you're going to let it sit and rise, and it's going to what? Triple in size of what you currently have, at least.
And then once it get out, you're gonna punch it down. It will.
But the yeast, this Red Star Platinum yeast that you use, you said helps to
to
make it rise
more.
even more.
See, look at that already.
Yeah, it's nice and quick and easy.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a food processor, all that mixing that you did over there, you have to do by hand.
You could do by hand.
But this was what, 2 minutes?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
To do that with the processor?
This is the American way.
Well, you
Not
know.
the Italian way.
Did you have food processors in Italy?
Are you kidding?
Yeah, you had your hands. That's
Are
it.
you kidding?
You're Jen in the background laughing. But you can see the consistency of the dough.
So now I put a little bit here. Now this side over here, this is gonna raise way up here.
Yeah.
So then you punch it down and then you let it rise again.
Yeah.
So now while I got the thing out, I'm gonna make 2 more batch, and I would end up and make a muffaletta and 3 loaf of bread.
Okay, so now we gotta just say what muffaletta is, because we're saying we're making muffaletta. Now, if you know muffaletta, if you go to New Orleans, muffaletta is different in New Orleans than what you are making here. So why don't you explain what it is first?
Well, this is like pita bread. You make in, you put it in the oven and broil. And I show
It's a sandwich. It's
like
bread, but what are you putting in the bread?
What I put in the bread when it's done?
Yeah.
Olive oil, Romano cheese, oregano, and then for some you put anchovies.
Right.
Or you could put ricotta.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want, and then you kind of smash it down, and that's it.
But in New Orleans, the muffaletta is more like a sandwich with lunch
you
meat.
put in there lunch meat.
So it is different. The muffaletta from New Orleans is different than what you make here. And this recipe goes back to Sicily. And so why don't you explain that?
Well, they used to make bread 2 times a week, and we didn't have an oven in the house. There was a guy making baked bread for you, and before you know, people are hungry. They don't want to wait for the bread to bake, and they make those, and they eat lunch.
And so basically, it's just bread, cheese, olive oil, oregano.
Rice again. So now with this one, I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna kind of mix.
And so, what do you find the difference between the two?
I don't know. That's me.
Okay. No rhyme or reason, just whatever works. So
I don't need the recipe. I just do things. I see things. I'm gonna try this. Work out.
and sometimes it doesn't.
Oh yeah. Well, what can you do?
All right, so you're going to do all that. So we're going to get back when you're going to continue making more dough, and we'll get back to when all of this has risen, and we're actually making the actual meal later today.
Okay.
Okay? All right, we'll be back then in a bit.
Look at this.
Let me give a little dough update. I think that's risen a little bit. Wow. It's hypnotic. So how many batches did you make?
4.
4. So that's 4 of what we saw earlier.
Yeah, 4 of them. So I'm gonna do those muffaletta, and then I'm gonna make it maybe 2 loaves of bread.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
That's the platinum yeast, Mom? The platinum?
Yeah. I use about. I use about
the other one too.
2 and 2, and then I put them all together. Okay.
And that was about, when did we do that?
I think it was about 10 o'clock,
So
10:30.
about 6 hours ago.
6 hours
It's
ago.
been 6 hours to get that.
So now the next program, as soon as it rises again, be ready to put them in the oven.
Okay. And we'll see some of that here in just a little bit.
Okay.
Nice.
You,
All right, here we are with another update. The next step in the process. What are you doing now?
I make it like a little sandwich over here. Okay, that's one.
So you're just flattening, separating the dough a bit.
Yeah. I show you right now.
Put some flour there, yeah, so it doesn't stick.
So you get a little piece of dough.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I
Kind of
know.
flat it out.
It's pretty awesome.
And the telephone now. It's always something going on in this house.
Rita.
Oh, it's Uncle Phil.
He probably wants to talk to you, Joe.
I talked to him this morning.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna make it
hey, Uncle Phil.
99 kg.
Okay.
Watching my mom make muffaletta.
Come over, I got muffaletta for you.
Yeah, to see if
All
she's
right.
making
So
the
there's the
muffaletta.
dough.
Yeah, and I guess Zia's coming over too. Zia and Uncle Tom. Oh, well, come out. You don't come. You're stuck there. All by yourself, Uncle Phil. You need to come out here.
Look at all
You
that.
have all this good food. You know?
So it's been just under 7 hours from when you first.
Yeah, well,
Started
I could
making
have
the
done it
dough.
sooner, but
Yeah.
you know, they wanted.
And, no, Jenny's got a little
And so
bit
now
of
the
that.
consistency of it, it looks like it's. That's all your flour.
Yeah, so she can't go in the pool right now, but she, you know, it's
There's
real
the
nice
flour.
in the pool. She sat by the, you know,
So
With my rooster.
so it looks like it is
no, very mild.
moist, kind of sticky, but not super sticky.
No, because once you put the flowers,
Yeah.
okay. And before they go in the oven, they're gonna be put them on broil, but I'm gonna flat them up more.
Okay. All right. So now we have that. Okay.
Next step.
Next
later
step.
on.
All right. That's good though. So you got all that. So you're putting all this. So far this hasn't been too bad, time-wise. I mean, the longest part of it is letting the dough rise, but
No, but
you
that's
saw
a
what it
big
was
lump.
like, earlier to
When
actually.
you're doing the full process, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's
right.
no work at all, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, that's the difference. Okay, we'll get back here in a minute. See how things turn out. What the next step is going to be.
This is what, so in Italy, so my aunt's house, like right next door, was, they used to bake bread. They primarily only did bread. What the hell? They maybe did.
Well, you're
just a
talking.
little-
I'm
just-
recording.
Just a little bit of cookies, you know, but just very little, more primarily bread. And I just remember waking up in the morning and you're literally laying in bed and this is the smell you smell. And you're just like this and coffee.
Yeah, pretty much.
Those are probably the two best smells.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is like,
yeah.
what a way to wake
Baked
up.
bread and
All right.
So it's like everything, like when I smell
right now
this
I'll put
smell,
them on
it just,
broil.
like, instantly goes
See,
out. In Italy, you know, that and smelling, believe it or not, diesel fuel. I know, it's so stupid. Diesel fuel reminds me of being a kid and getting on a plane and going to Italy because you smell the diesel fuel from the plane.
Okay. All right. So anyway, okay.
That's bad. That's bad.
Back to cooking. So you got.
Oh,
So you have it on broil, so you don't have to put it in there for very long.
No, broil. See? And now we're gonna go the other one.
Here, I'll open it.
So now it is different. You have an electric oven, so there are differences with electric
Convection
versus.
oven.
Yeah, you don't want to do convection.
Convection is,
So now the next
So-
thing I do, get
Well,
a knife,
okay.
spinach.
You're gonna spit on it? What'd you say? Split it.
She says split it.
I know. So okay, how long did you have it in the oven? I mean, it
I
wasn't
say
very long.
5 minutes until
Yeah.
they get brown.
flip them.
Yeah, do one
They're very
side, flip
quick.
it. It's
They're
an
very
electric
quick.
oven, so you only have the top of the oven on, right? The top heating element? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now you're cutting.
Now I cut it. Now what I do, I'm gonna put olive oil.
Okay, let me see what you're doing here.
See the steam coming? You probably can't see the steam.
Yeah,
This
you
is
can.
the important part, to do it when it's hot.
So cut it when it's hot, put the olive oil on it when it's hot.
Poi ti ci metti.
Smush it all down.
This is peasant food.
Yeah.
We eat a lot of peasant food here.
I said it was.
So now we put in the oregano,
Okay,
a little
so
bit
got your
oregano.
oregano.
Oregano from Italy.
No.
No? Finio?
Yeah, now the one from Italy, we don't have it no more.
Oh,
Now we
They-
put the Romano cheese.
gotta go back to Italy.
Christina, get me the other cheese in the little container, that the fancy cheese.
The fancy cheese?
I get fancy cheese with this.
The one with 3 different kind.
Yeah.
Provolone.
Really? You're using that, Mom?
Yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit here, make it more tasty.
Una.
So
Inside the drawer.
Loaded up with oregano and finely grated Romano cheese.
Oh.
Look at that. There's your cheese in a bowl. There's the oregano in the bowl. And oh, now you're putting, this is more of the shredded.
It's Romano, Asiago, and Parmesan.
Oh, so you got
all
the
mixed
three in
That's
there.
ready,
Yeah.
see? Oh, I gotta check
shit,
the other
hold
one.
on.
Oh, look out.
Oh no, they're good.
Oh. keep your head in the game. Even though
gotta
you're
be
preparing
fast.
those, you got to remember that because the next batch is in there.
See my rum cake?
So pretty much that's it. So that's the process. You cut it in half. Yeah, I saw your rum cake.
This is made with
flour?
rum.
Good. Then maybe I'll have some rum for a drink
Oh
tonight.
no, that's good. And then don't forget that, Joey.
What? Oh yeah, I'll get that. Yeah, I'll get that in a minute.
Oh my God, my eyes are. I feel.
So cut it in half. Olive oil, Romano,
And cheese.
oregano.
And if you want anchovies, they are in there.
Well, I'm gonna get to that. That's later. That's
Salad.
the icing on the cake, if you will. So this is it. Check that. Watch your leg,
you're
Mom.
good.
No, good still. Okay.
You don't want to.
That's fine. Let me flatter this a little bit.
There's another batch that just came out of the oven.
Okay, put them in there.
And yeah, it does smell good. It's simple, but really good.
Peasant food.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier and how it's just, it
We
was,
eat a lot of peasant food in this house.
well, yeah, but that's what you had in Sicily, post World War II, during World War II, right afterwards.
There ain't nothing better, man. Listen, we eat a lot of peasant food, and it is simple, from the ground, from the earth. Just, it's delicious.
Cheese, olive oil.
And good olive
Oregano.
oil, good cheese, good oregano.
Romano, gotta be the Romano.
Romano.
Yeah, but you're adding this other stuff too.
Well, some people
Yeah.
they use
Parmesan.
Yeah.
Parmesan.
this
doesn't
Well,
matter.
this will just add to it a little bit, adding the shredded. Instead of just the grated, the finely grated, you've got this stuff that's shredded, which is good still. Adds a little variety to the flavor.
gotta use the paper because it's so hot.
So hot, yeah. Look at it steaming.
So good.
Yeah. Look at that. That's ridiculous. Straight out of the oven.
Look at Joey with more hair. Look at this picture. Look at Philly with hair.
Yeah, I know. That
I
was
had
a long
hair.
time ago.
Well, that's when I had my long dreadlocks.
Yeah, if anybody
That was a
wants
long
to
time
see,
ago.
that was a long time ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
But it was long enough.
How long ago was that?
That was a good 15, 16 years ago.
No way.
Yep.
Was it?
Yep.
That's when the Jane first come here.
Yeah.
She bring you the frame. She took a
Oh.
picture.
Jenny took that picture? Mm-hmm. I mean, you still have your old green leather sofa, Mom.
Yep.
I still have my dreadlocks.
So the other thing that we have for tonight, we have Caprese salad. Tomatoes, where are the tomatoes? From your yard?
No.
No?
Are you kidding me?
But the basil is from your yard.
Yes.
Okay, so the basil is from the yard, but the tomato and mozzarella.
You can't grow tomatoes like that here in Florida.
Well, I wasn't sure. I don't.
They're not. It's
Yeah.
not.
Well, that's all right. So it looks really nice. And then the last part of all of this for me. So, all right, the story behind this. So when you get to a point where you're making all of that, that's tasty, it's good, but then when you add, I know people are going to be like, are you freaking real? But you add sardines or anchovies. Are these sardines or anchovies?
Both, whatever. Yeah.
Whatever, same thing basically. But you add a little bit of this to that, and it just adds extra flavor and taste. And this goes back to when I was a kid, like 6, 7 years old, and my grandmother made exactly this, and she would put anchovies, sardines, whichever, on it, and I'm eating it up. So I don't know too many kids who like anchovies and sardines, especially at that age, but I was all about it. Looks good. Looks really good. Smells even better.
Well, these
All right, so
peasant.
wait. Say that again as you
It's-
break this down.
It's bread and cheese.
That's basically what it is.
It's bread and cheese.
Olive oil, Oregano.
with some herbs. It's like very
Sardines.
Mediterranean.
It's good.
It's good.
Mediterranean.
But then when you add that, it makes it even better. You get all
right.
sorts of omega essential fatty acids and
Hey,
the olive
that's,
oil, which is so good for you.
And
All
you
good
get
stuff in
anchovies
there.
too.
That's what I'm saying right there.
There's
That's
all
it.
good stuff in there. Not
Allora.
artificial.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got some wine on the table.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers,
everyone.
everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
Salud.
Yeah,
That's it. That's how you do it. Simple. Doesn't have to be a lot. Doesn't have to be heavy. And it, even though Mom did all the work, it was easy compared to some of the stuff you cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not too bad.
You gotta have the technique to do it, so that's
Yeah.
not taking a long.
And the food processor doesn't hurt, right? That's always good.
I'm learning anything.
Amazing.
I read it by hand.
Yeah.
Amazing.
On the
Good.
process.
See?
Easy.
Yeah.
You
How
gotta
about
see
it?
the bread I got him
It's
outside
so
there.
good.
Oh wow. So I think my belly is full.
My belly's full.
That was good, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. So very simple, yet very yummy, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's nothing to it. It is basically homemade bread, but you're throwing olive oil, cheese, and oregano. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's just such a comfort food for me because it goes back to my childhood when my grandmother, my dad's mom, made this stuff. And again, like I said, I don't know. I didn't know any better. My grandma was like, metti di salad. Put the sardines on. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's fine. And so she put it on, and I tried it. I'm like, oh, no, this is good. Yeah. So I've always liked it ever since,
I do
So,
it without the sardines.
obviously, yeah. Not everyone's going to like sardines. But, yeah, it was just something that I had as a kid and just very nostalgic for me. This is one of those things over the years. If you go back to 15 years ago, you couldn't find gelato as regularly as you do now.
And
15,
arancini.
16, 17 years ago. Yeah, arancini, you didn't find that out. Like the first time I saw that at any restaurant, like, arancini? How is there arancini on this menu? What? So now you see that a lot more. So some of these specialty items that, were not readily available are now. And it's never the same as, if you have a family member that does it specifically to their recipe and it's nostalgic for you, right? Nothing's going to come close. Nothing comes close to my mom's cooking. Arancini, there was that one place at Romano's in St. Charles.
They were the
that-
closest.
They're the closest,
Yeah.
absolutely the closest. Unfortunately,
But
they
I think
shut
they were
down.
an Italian family.
Yeah,
too.
oh yeah. And
Everybody makes them very small,
Right.
and they do filler in it, and not the
Yes.
authentic.
and then the sauce,
ingredients.
right?
Yeah.
And the sauce is important too. That guy there, he had it just right. But
He did.
COVID shut him down. He retired and said he's done. He moved to Arizona.
So sad.
Yeah. So anyway, so this was just a nice way to spend the evening. Didn't overdo it.
No.
We just had that. We had the caprese salad, just really, really good with the basil fresh from the yard. I don't know. So yeah. So this is one of those things that really has not made it to widespread, like
America.
right, yeah. Restaurants don't have something like this. Again, muffaletta in New Orleans is totally different
Yes.
because you have lunch meat and it's basically like a sandwich there.
Yes.
But here, this is peasant food. It is
I was
just,
just gonna say that.
yeah, that's what we were saying earlier. It's just made, it's bread and you ate what you could eat. And back then, you didn't have a lot. They didn't have steak. Like my parents never had steak when they were kids. Are you kidding? So this and something like pupette. Pupette is a meatless kind of meatball where it's made from egg and cheese and breadcrumbs. And you put it all together and then you basically fry it in a pan.
That sounds mushy.
No. When it ends up, it's not polenta because polenta is completely different, but it has kind of sort of the consistency of it. So it's not mushy. And haven't you had that before, pupette? No? Okay. Well, anyway, so that's another
Nope.
item that was considered peasant food. You just used whatever you had and you make a meal out of it. And, again, Sicily during World War II, post World War II, this is what you had. So, but good stuff, good memories for me.
So don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss any of the next Jen and Joe on the go action, because we could be eating Mama Nella's homemade cooking, We could be in Disney. We could be drunk. You just never know.
You're pretty close right now, aren't you?
Oh, getting there.
Jennifer. 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 All right. Well, I myself am not. I could probably use another. All right.
That'll happen.
Yeah, well, we'll go back inside. Okay. We will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching as always. Bye.
So who said he was out? Joey?
So just as a
Dad's out.
kind of a
On his out.
postscript or an epilogue to the video, this is what my mom did with the extra dough. So she's got some focaccia here.
Gotcha.
And then over here is the other bread that she made. Look at that. Straight out of the oven. You like it? Look at that. It looks good, Ma.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good.
Tomorrow
Lovely.
we haven't toasted with that.
Sounds good. Mm-mm-mm.
Mom,
Now what are you going to do with this?
Eat it.
Okay, eat it. Okay. That's about right. You're going to eat it.